In this section, we'll be analyzing the portrayal of female characters along with some of the symbols and recurring themes of both fairy tales. The first characters we'll be exploring are Cinderella and the Princess in All Kinds of Fur. Cinderella and the princess are both women of noble origin who lost their status because of abuse from family members. They are both portrayed as virtuous, pious, and hardworking. However, their beauty is the trait that's often praised and is used as a vehicle to escape their abuse. In these stories, when the heroine is depicted, she is always described as stunning. Her beauty is supported by her moral compass and faith in God. She must have both in order to receive help from the divine and be saved by the hero. This set the expectations for women in past German society. The female leads express what a good woman was supposed to look like, and by following this model, there would surely be a reward in the end. In the case of Cinderella, these traits are displayed by her continuous faith in God and how she asks for little, if nothing at all. Even when she is reduced to a maid, she still works diligently to complete her chores despite her abuse. God rewards her by granting her the opportunity to participate in the ball by giving her outfits that accentuate her beauty. We can also see a similar saga of abuse and transformation in All Kinds of Fur. The princess is seen as pure and virtuous. She loses her status as a result of escaping her father, who wishes to marry her. Something to note that she gives herself to God before embarking on her journey. She loses her status and becomes a maid just like Cinderella. However, because of her virtue, she is rewarded just like Cinderella and marries the king, who is enthralled by her beauty. Both characters were used to create the model of what a good woman should be. Their heroine often displays traits of being passive, morally sound, and beautiful beyond all the rest. These fairy tales show how much these traits were valued in Germany and aligned with views of great thinkers who were setting this kind of precedence. One of the most notable influences is Immanuel Kant, who believed that women should be subservient and only as object of beauty. These tales also describe what a bad woman looked like and what traits were associated with these women. We will be analyzing the antagonist of Cinderella and the portrayal of negative traits in All Kinds of Fur. The stepmother and sisters in Cinderella are often portrayed as malicious and greedy. These antagonists are often portrayed as materialistic and value extravagance. This is seen when they ask their stepfather for jewels and dresses. They also had Cinderella work tirelessly to help them prepare for the ball. These traits are frowned upon by Kant, who believes women should be modest creatures. Another trait I will discuss is cleanliness. Cleanliness is often associated with purity and nobility. In All Kinds of Fur, the protagonist was not recognized until she cleaned up her appearance. The same could be said about Cinderella. These women are usually passed off and treated inhumanely because of their rough appearances, which is attributed to their time serving as a maid. Now that we have explored these characters, it is also important to note some of the symbolism represented in each story. Cinderella has a lot of pagan undertones, which makes sense in relation to its origin. This story was often shared among peasants and in churches, so paganism and religion strongly influenced the story. When Cinderella receives the hazel branch from her father, she plants it on her mother's grave. Eventually, a magical tree grows and grants her wishes. In paganism, hazel trees represent good luck, and by planting it over her mother's grave, her mother's spirit is manifested into the tree. Lastly, in All Kinds of Fur, moral failings are symbolized in the form of the incestuous relationship the father is trying to form with his daughter. This is frowned upon in the story, and even talks about how God forbids this type of behavior. They go as far as to say the whole kingdom will be pulled into ruin if the father married the princess. Now that we analyze these stories, it's time to get insight through some of our prime sources.